Hello and thank you for coming to the one-point mail user help guide video series. This video is going to be really fun for me. It's going to be about our suppression tools in one-point mail. I think we have one of the best suppression suites in the email space, and I'm really excited to show you guys how to use it and what it can do for you here today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm on Home Dashboard, and about halfway through my main menu option over here is a suppression tab. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. You can see all these great email suppression tools that we have to use here. Global email suppression is the first one. This is probably the tab that you're going to use most. There's a couple ways to use this particular screen. Okay, so let's go through everything to make sure you don't get confused. Global versus local. Okay, a global suppress means that this email address you're about to enter in is going to be suppressed on the account level. In no way after you globally suppress this name will it ever receive mail from your account. Even if it makes it onto one of your lists or into one of your mailings, they will not receive a piece of mail. So I will go ahead and suppress myself. Okay, and you can see now that I will get a message that says you've successfully suppressed this name, and you'll see it down here in our suppressed list as being manually suppressed. Okay, the date it was suppressed, who suppressed it. This is relevant if you have multiple users in your account. You can see who actually did it. Okay, so that's how you do a one-off, one email address suppress. We see a lot of cases where somehow or another someone writes back and they want to be removed, but they didn't click unsubscribe. If you just want to pop in and suppress them this way, you can do that. Okay. Then you've got your bulk suppression. This is what most people use. A lot of companies use multiple email systems to manage their campaigns, and so they want to make sure that their unsubscribes are synced across multiple systems. And so what they'll do is take unsubscribes or their complainers from one mail system, and they'll just come suppress them in one-point mail to make sure that they're not going to receive any messages. So you can do that here. You basically choose a file. I believe it'll take either CSV or .xlsx, and all you need in that file is email address. So literally, let me create a new file here. I'll put in one of my emails, then another one. I'll put in Ren because he probably doesn't want to receive mail. I'll go ahead and put in Chris, our in-house Canadian. Alright, so I've got Ren and Chris and a couple of my email addresses on there. Let me go ahead and save this. I'll save it as a .xlsx, and I'll just name this suppress and throw it right on my desktop. So let me come back into one-point mail. Let me choose my file, desktop. I'm going to choose my suppress file, .xlsx, and import. And it should go pretty fast. Took about less than a second. You can see now all the email addresses that I just included on that file have now been globally suppressed. So really easy to use. Let me flip this switch over here up top to local. Okay, and what this allows you to do is suppress some names, but only if you're targeting a certain list. So if I have Ren on list A and list B, but I want to suppress him only when I'm targeting list A, that's where this would come in handy. To be honest with you, not many people use this feature. Most suppresses are done globally. It's very rare that you get an individual who says they don't want to receive your content. Usually when they say that, they mean that they don't want to receive any of your content, period, not just some, but they want to receive others. Granted, there are situations, which is why we included this tool, but it's just fairly rare. So I'm going to go ahead and move over here on my suppression tab. I'm going to move to the second option, which is global domain suppression. This is one of my favorite features in this product. We have the ability to suppress domains. So we use this in-house for a number of different reasons. If we're doing some marketing and we think it's a domain that really has a low probability of actually getting through or opened, we'll go ahead and suppress it just because we don't want to register those unopens or those bounces. So for example, we'll put salesforce.com in here, right? And that'll Oops, you have to enter in a reason. I'll just put in competitor. And you can see now that Salesforce.com has been suppressed. We'll also do this for a lot of our current customers, so that way we know we're not hitting individuals who have already signed up for one-point mail, with targeted marketing messages. So I'll do social sweepster. I'll put in current customer. Okay, and what this is going to do is make sure that any email address that makes it on to one of your lists or into the mail engine with this domain is just going to get wiped out. It's not going to get sent. So really convenient. You can cover a lot of ground by suppressing particular domains. You can really suppress a lot of names with only creating one rule. You can upload. I've now moved to my third option under suppression here. You can upload a list of domains. This is going to be just like importing a list of individuals you want to suppress. Basically just an Excel file like I've created, except instead of putting in email addresses, you just put in a bunch of domains. And then you would come back here to one-point mail. You would create your list. I'll just call this domain suppress list. And then you would import to that list via our import engine here, okay? You would import your list of domains, and you're good to go. It's basically the same tool as this global domain suppression, except it allows you to upload many domains at once versus having to do a one-off. I'm going to move now to wildcard suppression, okay? And wildcard is a very powerful tool. We always say with great power comes great responsibility. This tool, you can create literally any rule that you want for suppressing. And so you can see that in this particular account, we've included sales. And the reason being that that is a role account. So basically, any email address that makes it into this account where the string of text sales is in that email address anywhere. So that's to the left of the @ symbol, to the right of the @ symbol. Anywhere in that email address will not receive an email. Okay, so I'll enter in another one. And pardon my French, but we don't like to email names that have profanity in them. So I'll go ahead and put in this bad word, and I'll put in the reason profanity. And you can see now that any email address that contains this word will not be emailed to, and here's the reason. So a really great tool. Role accounts, profanities, things like that are very common uses that we see for this tool. Okay. And last one here is MD5. So MD5 hash is simply an encryption method. So if that's something that you or your team uses, we do have the ability to upload MD5 hash to suppress against as well. For 99% of people, this is not relevant, so I don't want to get hung up on it. So that's our suppression suite. If you have any questions, feel free to call us at the 1-800 number on our website, or shoot us an email at support@onepointinteractive.com. And thanks again for visiting our Help Guide user video series.